Hello and welcome to the story of Samsung, one of the world's most remarkable corporate journeys. Today, we'll explore how a small trading company in South Korea, which started by selling noodles and groceries, evolved into a global technology titan that shapes everything from smartphones to semiconductors. This story is not only about business success, but also about vision, resilience, and the drive to innovate in the face of enormous challenges. Founded in 1938 by Lee Byung-chul in Sudong, a small town near Daegu, Samsung began as a modest trading firm exporting dried fish, locally grown noodles, and other goods to China. The world at that time was very different. Korea was under Japanese occupation, and the economic landscape was unstable. Yet Lee Byung-chul had a vision for growth and diversification, believing that business could play a central role in modernizing Korea and helping it rise on the world stage. Over the following decades, Samsung expanded into textiles, insurance, and retail, slowly building a network of businesses that would eventually become the foundation for its technological ventures. In the 1960s, Lee recognized the importance of electronics and decided to pivot. This decision would set the stage for what many consider the defining transformation in Samsung's history. This story will take you through the company's evolution, from its early struggles in a war-torn nation, through the rapid industrialization of South Korea, to its bold entry into consumer electronics and the semiconductor business. You'll see how strategic vision, investment in talent, and relentless innovation propelled Samsung to the forefront of the global tech industry. Along the way, we'll explore the key products, pivotal decisions, and challenges that shaped Samsung. We'll also see how the company adapted to global competition, weathered financial crises, and overcame internal struggles to become a symbol of Korean ingenuity and technological leadership. By the end of this journey, you'll understand not just how Samsung became a global powerhouse, but also the lessons it offers about persistence, foresight, and the willingness to reinvent oneself in an ever-changing world. So, let's begin our journey into the fascinating rise of Samsung, from a humble noodle trading company to a tech titan that influences millions of lives worldwide. By the 1960s, Samsung had firmly established itself as a diverse conglomerate in South Korea, involved in textiles, insurance, and retail. But Lee Byung-chul had a bigger vision. He wanted Samsung to lead in the emerging field of electronics. At that time, South Korea was undergoing rapid industrialization, and the government actively encouraged companies to invest in technology and manufacturing. Lee recognized this as the perfect moment to pivot. In 1969, Samsung Electronics was officially founded. The company initially focused on consumer electronics such as black and white televisions, home appliances, and radios. These products were modest, often designed under licenses from foreign companies, but they provided valuable experience in manufacturing, supply chain management, and quality control. Even then, Lee emphasized rigorous standards, believing that global recognition would only come through excellence. The early years were far from easy. South Korea lacked advanced technology, skilled engineers were scarce, and foreign competitors dominated electronics markets. Samsung had to innovate with limited resources, often reverse engineering products, and gradually improving them. Every setback became a learning opportunity, teaching the company how to balance cost, quality, and innovation. By the late 1970s, Samsung had begun to export electronics to the Middle East and Africa, marking its first steps toward international recognition. The company also invested heavily in R&D, building laboratories and training engineers in new techniques. Lee understood that technology would be the key to sustainable growth, and he committed to long-term investment even when short-term profits were uncertain. This era also saw Samsung branching into semiconductors, a move that would prove transformative. Initially producing simple memory chips, Samsung focused on increasing quality and yield, eventually challenging Japanese and American manufacturers. This decision positioned the company to become a global leader in one of the most important industries of the late 20th and early 21st centuries. By combining determination, careful strategic planning, and a willingness to learn from mistakes, Samsung Electronics laid the foundation for the company's rise as a technological powerhouse. From making simple black and white TVs to producing cutting-edge semiconductors, the company had begun its transformation from a local electronics manufacturer into a brand with global ambitions. The story of Samsung in these years is a testament to the power of vision and perseverance, showing how even modest beginnings can lead to extraordinary outcomes when combined with foresight and dedication. By the 1980s, Samsung had begun to assert itself not just in South Korea, but on the global stage. The company's vision extended beyond domestic success. It sought to compete with established electronics giants from Japan and the United States. This period marked a turning point, as Samsung embraced global expansion and shifted focus toward higher quality consumer electronics. Samsung invested heavily in research and development, establishing state-of-the-art laboratories and recruiting talent from around the world. The company aimed to improve product design, durability, and performance to meet international standards. This was crucial because early exports often faced skepticism from foreign consumers, who viewed South Korean products as cheap and inferior compared to Japanese and Western brands. Samsung understood that overcoming this perception required not just competitive pricing but superior technology and branding. In consumer electronics, Samsung introduced color televisions, VCRs, and microwave ovens, gaining a foothold in markets across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Strategic partnerships with foreign distributors allowed Samsung to penetrate new regions efficiently, while the company's commitment to quality gradually won the trust of international buyers. The brand's emphasis on reliability and performance set it apart from competitors who prioritized short-term profit over long-term reputation. Semiconductors continued to play a critical role in Samsung's global strategy. Memory chips, initially produced for domestic use, began to be exported worldwide, challenging Japanese dominance in the market. Samsung's approach combined rigorous process control, constant innovation, and significant reinvestment of profits into new technologies. This allowed the company to reduce costs, improve efficiency, and eventually achieve a level of competitiveness that few could match. By the late 1980s, Samsung had also started to explore telecommunications and mobile technology. While early mobile phones were basic, the company's investment in R&D signaled a long-term commitment to becoming a leader in an emerging field that would define the future of global communication. Samsung's vision was clear. It would not simply participate in existing markets but strive to lead them. Through this period of global expansion, Samsung learned how to navigate complex international markets, manage supply chains across continents, and adapt products to diverse consumer needs. These lessons would become invaluable in the decades ahead, particularly as the company faced the dual challenges of rapid technological change and fierce competition from both established and new entrants. Samsung's journey in the 1980s demonstrates the importance of strategic foresight, relentless innovation, and the ability to balance domestic strength with global ambition. By combining these elements, the company set the stage for its rise as a worldwide leader in consumer electronics and technology. The late 1990s and early 2000s marked the beginning of Samsung's most transformative era, the rise of mobile technology. As the world moved toward digital communication, smartphones were emerging as a revolutionary force, reshaping not only how people connected, but also how they consumed media, accessed information, and managed daily life. Samsung, with its foundation in electronics and semiconductors, was uniquely positioned to seize this opportunity. Initially, Samsung produced basic mobile phones that competed in a crowded and rapidly evolving market. The challenge was immense. Nokia, Motorola, and other established brands dominated global sales, and new entrants had to prove themselves quickly. Samsung responded with an aggressive strategy, rapid product development, consistent investment in R&D, and a commitment to quality. Engineers worked tirelessly to improve battery life, design, functionality, and durability, recognizing that consumer trust was essential in a market defined by frequent technological upgrades. Samsung's breakthrough came when it embraced innovation and design as core differentiators. The company began producing feature-rich phones with sleek designs, superior screens, and multimedia capabilities. It was one of the first to explore larger color displays, music and video playback, and camera integration, features that would soon become standard in the industry. This commitment to innovation helped Samsung carve out a niche, particularly in Asia and Europe, and set the stage for a global expansion into premium smartphones. The company also recognized the importance of vertical integration. By controlling both hardware, such as semiconductors and displays, and software, Samsung could rapidly introduce cutting-edge features while maintaining control over costs and supply chains. This strategy gave Samsung a competitive edge over rivals who relied on third-party components and limited internal production capabilities. As the 2010s approached, Samsung launched the Galaxy series, a product line that would define its presence in the smartphone market. The Galaxy S and Note models combined powerful processors, high-quality cameras, and innovative features such as stylus support and large, vibrant displays. Aggressive marketing campaigns and global distribution ensured that these devices reached millions of consumers, cementing Samsung's reputation as a technology leader. Samsung's success in smartphones was not merely about sales figures. It was about establishing brand identity. The company transitioned from being perceived as a manufacturer of affordable electronics to a premium technology brand that competed head-to-head with Apple. This transformation required careful attention to design, user experience, and ecosystem development, ensuring that Samsung devices were desirable, reliable, and compatible with a growing range of applications and services. By the end of this period, Samsung had firmly established itself as a global force in mobile technology. Its relentless innovation, strategic foresight, and commitment to quality had transformed it from a general electronics company into a smartphone powerhouse, capable of shaping global consumer behavior and setting industry standards. Samsung's journey into mobile technology illustrates the power of timing, innovation, and persistence. It shows how a company can leverage its expertise, invest in emerging trends, and take calculated risks to achieve global dominance in a competitive and rapidly evolving market. While Samsung was achieving remarkable success in consumer electronics and smartphones, another part of the company was quietly transforming the global technology landscape, its semiconductor business. By the mid-2000s, Samsung had set its sights on becoming a world leader in memory chips, processors, and other critical components, recognizing that control over these technologies would not only boost profits, but also strengthen its competitive position in consumer electronics. Samsung's semiconductor strategy was built on three pillars: massive investment in research and development, vertical integration, and relentless process improvement. The company poured billions of dollars into advanced fabrication facilities, known as fabs, where engineers developed increasingly sophisticated memory chips and system-on-chip processors. By controlling production from raw materials to finished components, Samsung reduced costs, improved quality, and accelerated innovation cycles. The company's focus on memory chips, particularly DRAM and NAND flash, paid off handsomely. As demand for smartphones, tablets, and computers surged, Samsung became the dominant supplier to major tech companies worldwide. Its chips powered everything from Apple devices to PCs and servers, earning Samsung a reputation not just as a consumer brand, but as the backbone of global electronics manufacturing. Samsung also innovated in design and efficiency, pushing the limits of miniaturization and performance. Its engineers developed new fabrication techniques, allowing chips to become smaller, faster, and more energy efficient with each generation. These advances positioned Samsung as a technology leader in an industry where Moore's law, the doubling of transistors on a chip approximately every 2 years, defined success. The company's dominance in semiconductors was further reinforced by strategic partnerships and long-term contracts with tech giants around the world. By supplying both consumer electronics and the critical components that powered them, Samsung created an ecosystem that few competitors could match. This integration gave Samsung leverage, market influence, and a deep understanding of global technology trends, further solidifying its position as a global powerhouse. However, success in semiconductors did not come without challenges. The industry is cyclical, with periods of high demand followed by sudden price drops. Samsung had to navigate fluctuating markets, rising competition from companies like TSMC, and geopolitical tensions that occasionally threatened supply chains. Yet, the company's scale, investment in innovation, and commitment to long-term growth allowed it to weather these challenges while continuing to expand its technological leadership. By the end of this era, Samsung had transformed from a consumer electronics brand into a technological titan whose influence extended deep into the global infrastructure of digital life. Its semiconductor business not only generated enormous revenue but also provided a strategic advantage that complemented its consumer products, enabling the company to set standards, shape markets, and maintain a competitive edge worldwide. Samsung's rise in semiconductors demonstrates how foresight, investment in innovation, and control over critical technology can create lasting global dominance. It shows that true leadership in technology requires not only creating devices that people love, but also mastering the components that make those devices possible. As Samsung cemented its dominance in smartphones and semiconductors, the company turned its attention to building a truly global brand. By the 2010s, Samsung was no longer just a South Korean success story. It had become a symbol of innovation, quality, and technological ambition worldwide. The challenge now was not only to sell products but to establish Samsung as a household name synonymous with cutting-edge technology and reliability. Samsung invested heavily in marketing campaigns that emphasized innovation, design, and lifestyle. The company sponsored major sporting events, partnered with celebrities, and created memorable advertising that highlighted the superior technology and features of its devices. Globally recognized campaigns like "Do What You Can't" reinforced the company's message. Samsung was a brand that empowered people to achieve more through technology. The company also focused on user experience, ensuring that its devices were intuitive, stylish, and adaptable to different markets. This approach required understanding cultural preferences, purchasing habits, and consumer expectations across continents. Samsung's ability to tailor products and services to local markets, while maintaining a consistent global brand identity, became a major competitive advantage. Samsung's leadership extended beyond consumer electronics. Its presence in semiconductors, display technology, home appliances, and network infrastructure created an interconnected ecosystem that reinforced the brand's reliability and technological prowess. For example, Samsung's AMOLED displays became industry standards in smartphones, while its advanced memory chips powered everything from smartphones to data centers. This vertical integration strengthened Samsung's market position and made it difficult for competitors to replicate its comprehensive capabilities. In addition, Samsung embraced innovation beyond hardware. The company invested in software, artificial intelligence, and the Internet of Things (IoT), linking its devices and appliances into cohesive digital experiences. Smart TVs, connected home appliances, and wearable devices created a seamless ecosystem that enhanced consumer loyalty and further distinguished Samsung from competitors who focused solely on individual product lines. Samsung's leadership strategy also involved strategic acquisitions and partnerships. The company acquired technology firms that complemented its core business, expanded research centers in key global markets, and collaborated with leading universities to develop next-generation technologies. These initiatives ensured that Samsung stayed ahead of emerging trends and maintained a strong pipeline of innovation. By the mid-2010s, Samsung had achieved a remarkable global footprint. Its brand was recognized in nearly every market, its products were used by hundreds of millions of people, and its technological influence extended across multiple industries. Samsung had successfully transformed from a local electronics company into a global leader capable of shaping technology trends and influencing consumer behavior on a massive scale. The story of Samsung's rise to global brand leadership demonstrates the importance of strategic marketing, understanding diverse consumer needs, and investing in innovation that transcends individual products. It shows how a company can leverage its technological expertise to build a brand that is both aspirational and widely accessible, ultimately establishing a lasting presence on the world stage. As Samsung solidified its position as a global technology leader, it faced mounting challenges from competitors, changing markets, and evolving consumer expectations. The company had achieved tremendous success, but sustaining that momentum required navigating a complex landscape of technological disruption, fierce rivals, and geopolitical pressures. Competition intensified across multiple fronts. In the smartphone market, Apple set high standards for design, software integration, and user experience, forcing Samsung to innovate continuously to remain competitive. Chinese manufacturers like Huawei, Xiaomi, and Oppo began producing feature-rich devices at lower prices, challenging Samsung's dominance in both emerging and established markets. These rivals pushed Samsung to improve efficiency, diversify product lines, and invest heavily in research and development to stay ahead. Technological disruption also presented challenges. The rise of mobile software ecosystems, the growing importance of AI, and the emergence of 5G networks required Samsung to adapt quickly. The company had to balance hardware excellence with software innovation, ensuring that its devices were not only powerful but also compatible with evolving services and digital platforms. This necessitated strategic partnerships with software developers, telecom providers, and tech innovators worldwide. Geopolitical tensions created additional hurdles. As a South Korean company operating globally, Samsung had to navigate trade restrictions, import-export regulations, and conflicts between major markets. For example, tensions between the United States and China occasionally impacted supply chains, tariffs, and semiconductor exports. Samsung's leadership responded by diversifying manufacturing locations, strengthening local operations, and fostering government relations to mitigate risks. Internal challenges also demanded attention. Rapid growth and diversification meant managing complex operations across continents, ensuring consistent quality, and maintaining corporate culture. Samsung implemented organizational reforms, streamlined management structures, and emphasized leadership development to sustain innovation and efficiency. Employee training programs and internal innovation hubs became critical in maintaining a competitive edge. Despite these challenges, Samsung remained resilient. The company leveraged its technological expertise, financial resources, and brand reputation to adapt, innovate, and expand into new markets. For instance, its focus on foldable smartphones, high-end display technology, and advanced semiconductor production exemplified its willingness to take calculated risks and pioneer new categories. Samsung's journey through challenges and competition demonstrates that global leadership is not static. It requires constant vigilance, adaptability, and a commitment to excellence. By understanding rivals, anticipating market trends, and investing strategically, Samsung managed to not only survive intense competition but to continue shaping the trajectory of global technology. The company's experience highlights a critical lesson: success in technology is not just about innovation and market share, but also about resilience, strategic foresight, and the ability to navigate complex, often unpredictable, challenges. As Samsung looked to the future, innovation became the central pillar of its strategy. The company understood that to maintain its position as a global technology leader, it could not rely solely on past successes in smartphones, semiconductors, or consumer electronics. Emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, 5G connectivity, foldable devices, and smart home ecosystems offered both opportunities and challenges, demanding forward-thinking investment and bold experimentation. Samsung's R&D initiatives expanded significantly during this period. The company opened advanced research centers across Asia, Europe, and North America, focusing on next-generation technologies such as quantum computing, high-efficiency semiconductors, and AI-driven applications. By collaborating with universities, startups, and other industry leaders, Samsung sought to accelerate innovation while staying at the forefront of global technological trends. Foldable smartphones became one of Samsung's most visible demonstrations of innovation. These devices challenged conventional design paradigms, offering users larger displays without sacrificing portability. While early versions faced criticism for durability and cost, Samsung continuously refined the technology, positioning foldables as a symbol of the company's willingness to take risks and redefine the mobile experience. In the realm of artificial intelligence, Samsung invested in voice assistants, predictive software, and smart device ecosystems. Smart TVs, refrigerators, and home appliances were integrated into a cohesive digital environment, allowing users to manage their homes through a seamless network of interconnected devices. This emphasis on IoT, Internet of Things, demonstrated Samsung's vision for technology that enhances daily life rather than merely selling hardware. 5G connectivity became another area of focus. Samsung's leadership recognized that the rollout of faster, more reliable networks would redefine communication, entertainment, and business globally. The company not only produced 5G-enabled devices but also developed network infrastructure solutions, positioning itself as a key player in the global telecommunications landscape. Semiconductors continued to evolve as well. Samsung pioneered advanced memory chips, processors, and display technologies that enabled smaller, faster, and more energy-efficient devices. By maintaining control over these critical components, the company ensured a competitive advantage across multiple product lines, from mobile phones to high-performance computing. Samsung's approach to innovation combined audacity with pragmatism. The company was willing to experiment, learn from early failures, and iterate rapidly, but it also balanced risk with strategic planning, market analysis, and long-term investment. This methodology allowed Samsung to pioneer new technologies while maintaining a sustainable business model. Through these efforts, Samsung positioned itself not just as a technology manufacturer but as a visionary company shaping the future of digital life. Its focus on innovation, emerging technologies, and integrated ecosystems demonstrated a commitment to leadership that extended beyond the present, anticipating the needs and desires of consumers before competitors even recognized them. The story of Samsung's innovation underscores the importance of foresight, adaptability, and calculated risk-taking. It shows how a company that started with noodles and televisions transformed into a global tech titan by embracing change, investing in the future, and redefining what technology could do for everyday life. As Samsung grew into a global technology powerhouse, the company increasingly recognized its responsibility to society, the environment, and the communities in which it operated. With influence spanning continents and billions of consumers relying on its products, Samsung understood that corporate success could not be measured solely by revenue or market share. Ethical practices, social impact initiatives, and environmental stewardship became central to its mission, reflecting a broader commitment to shaping the world responsibly. Samsung invested in educational programs, aiming to cultivate the next generation of engineers, innovators, and technology leaders. Through scholarships, partnerships with universities, and coding initiatives for young students, Samsung helped provide access to high-quality education in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics (STEM). These programs not only benefited local communities but also nurtured a future workforce capable of sustaining technological progress globally. Environmental sustainability became another cornerstone of Samsung's corporate responsibility. The company introduced initiatives to reduce energy consumption in manufacturing, increase the recyclability of products, and minimize electronic waste. Energy-efficient appliances, eco-friendly packaging, and recycling programs were designed to lessen the company's environmental footprint while promoting a culture of sustainability among consumers. Samsung also embraced social innovation, launching programs to support healthcare, disaster relief, and underserved populations. For example, the company developed mobile health solutions, connected communities in remote areas through technology, and contributed to relief efforts during natural disasters. These initiatives demonstrated that Samsung's influence extended beyond commerce. It could actively contribute to societal well-being and global development. Diversity and inclusion became integral to Samsung's corporate culture. The company promoted equitable workplace practices, supporting gender equality, cultural diversity, and inclusive hiring policies. Leadership development programs emphasized mentorship, representation, and the cultivation of a collaborative and innovative organizational environment. By fostering diversity, Samsung recognized the value of multiple perspectives in driving creativity and technological advancement. As global scrutiny increased, Samsung worked to ensure ethical supply chains and responsible sourcing of materials. The company implemented strict standards for labor practices, environmental compliance, and corporate governance, reinforcing its commitment to integrity and transparency. These measures helped maintain trust among consumers, investors, and international partners, essential for long-term sustainability. Through its social impact initiatives, Samsung demonstrated that a global technology leader could wield influence responsibly. The company's efforts showed that innovation and business success could coexist with ethical conduct, environmental stewardship, and community engagement. By integrating social responsibility into its core operations, Samsung strengthened its reputation, inspired consumer loyalty, and contributed to the broader goal of using technology to improve lives worldwide. The story of Samsung's social impact underscores a fundamental principle of modern corporate leadership. True success encompasses not only financial growth but also positive contributions to society. Samsung's journey illustrates how a company can leverage resources, expertise, and innovation to address global challenges while building a sustainable and ethical business. As Samsung approaches the present day, its story reflects a remarkable journey from humble beginnings to global dominance. What started as a small trading company selling noodles in 1938 evolved into a multinational conglomerate influencing nearly every aspect of modern technology. Samsung's rise illustrates the power of vision, innovation, adaptability, and resilience, proving that a company can grow beyond its origins to shape entire industries. The conclusion of Samsung's historical journey is not an endpoint but a reflection on the principles and strategies that have sustained its growth. The company's emphasis on research and development, vertical integration, and technological innovation enabled it to compete successfully in fiercely competitive markets. Samsung's commitment to quality, design, and user experience allowed it to build a global brand recognized for excellence, while its investments in semiconductors, displays, and mobile technology created a foundation for sustained influence. Equally important has been Samsung's ability to navigate challenges and competition. From rivals like Apple, Huawei, and Xiaomi to geopolitical tensions and cyclical market pressures, the company consistently adapted, leveraging its scale, expertise, and strategic foresight to maintain a leading position. Samsung's resilience highlights the importance of foresight, planning, and calculated risk-taking in sustaining long-term success in technology-driven industries. Innovation remains at the heart of Samsung's future. Investments in artificial intelligence, 5G, IoT, foldable devices, and next-generation semiconductors demonstrate a forward-looking mindset, ensuring that the company continues to pioneer technologies that redefine the way people live and work. Samsung's vision extends beyond devices, aiming to create integrated ecosystems that enhance daily life, empower users, and address emerging global needs. Corporate responsibility and social impact also define Samsung's ongoing mission. Environmental sustainability, educational initiatives, social programs, and ethical business practices reinforce the company's role as a conscientious global leader. By integrating purpose with profit, Samsung illustrates how technology companies can contribute positively to society while achieving financial success. Looking ahead, Samsung faces a world of rapid technological change, evolving consumer expectations, and increasing global competition. Yet, the company's history demonstrates that a combination of innovation, strategic leadership, and adaptability equips it to navigate uncertainty and continue influencing the future of technology. Samsung's journey is a testament to the possibilities that emerge when vision, determination, and investment in human and technological capital intersect. In conclusion, Samsung's story offers lessons for aspiring innovators, business leaders, and technology enthusiasts alike. It shows that success requires not only creating groundbreaking products but also building resilient organizations, fostering innovation, and contributing meaningfully to society. From noodles to smartphones, semiconductors, and beyond, Samsung embodies the transformative power of ambition, ingenuity, and perseverance, leaving an enduring legacy in the global technology landscape.